Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is David from Daveden Web Dev. If this is your first time being here, please do let me know in the comment section. And if you can see me, if you can hear me, please let me know in the comments so that we know that everything is good and we can start from there. So today, let me know how the weather is for you. Hello Jonathan, I see you're online. Thanks for joining in. How is the weather like for you? Because for me right now, it's quite cold. I don't know, it's so cold over here. But let me know, what do you think? Is the weather okay for you, or you're like you're you're not into the cold weather? Like it doesn't matter. Yeah, the sound is loud from my end. It should be loud. Maybe to get louder at one point, because over here it sounds like it should be okay. But yeah, so today we're just going to be looking at, like I said, Bricksforge Pro Forms. If you are using Pro Forms, please let me know in the comments, because there's a poll going on right now. For me, right now I use one of two forms. I use either Bricksforge Pro Forms or I use um, the Jet Form Builder. So I prefer using a dedicated form than using the native form that comes with the builder. But I don't know, what do you prefer? Oh, okay. Thank you, Jonathan. Uh, so yeah, let's get to it. So let me go ahead and I'll just share my screen. I'll show you what I'm working with so far. So basically, just going to be trying to test out the form, how to upload your, like, update your post from the front end. That's what I'm focusing on today. So I'm just going to see how we can use Bricksforge Pro Forms to, you know, update our posts from the front end. Because I know that's one of the things that people have been asking recently, and I started testing it out, and just this morning I found out something was not working, and I was wondering what was not working. I thought it was from Bricksforge, but I didn't know it was just me, because I didn't, silly me, I didn't see one letter was off, and I was saying, oh, the letter is not right. It's not that, I didn't know that it was me that made the mistake. But when I found out, it was I also went to my Facebook and I posted that I finally found the solution. So we just go jump in and see what it is now. So I'll switch to my screen, and we're working with the classic waffles. That's the page I've been working with for a while now. And the idea is that we want to be able to update most of this content from the front end. So to speed up all the process, I've already gone ahead to use ACF. So I've used ACF to just create all of the form areas. So this is the description, which is this tiny bit of area over here. That's the description. Then you see the rating. That is this rating. There's 4.5. Then, oh, hello, skating choreographer. Thanks for joining in. So we see recipe author, and that is the recipe author. So submitted by Megan under breakfast and brunch. This is supposed to be the term that is under. Then what else? We have extra description, and there's none for this post. But ideally, if there is for the post, it will come somewhere under here before the directions. But when there is none, then it gets taken off. And we have all the rest. I have a group field as well. That group field is just for my timing, and it has 4 individual number fields: one for prep time, cooking time, additional time, and the servings. If you go ahead and see it, that's the prep time, 10 minutes, cooking time, 15 minutes. The total time is 25 minutes and servings. Then we have our directions, and we also have the ingredients. These are all repeater fields. So see, the ingredients is a repeater field. The direction is also a repeater field. And then we have the nutritional facts and so on. So those are all the fields that I've already created on the back end. We can go ahead and see the post. So let me just go ahead and view the post on the, let me see. edit it. So I'll edit in a new tab. Let me go to that tab. And basically that's just it. So classic waffles. I put the featured image in there. Put the recipe meta. I just group them. So yeah, so we have all of these fields. So those are just all the fields that we're working with today. Now we see, we just test out the form. I already created one form just for test. So we have the form here. When I click on edit, it takes me to the edit page and it pre-populates that form field. The way it works is it's using the URL query ID. So when you do that, ID equal to, this is the ID of the post, and with that, it uses it to pre-populate every element here. And let's say the calories is not 379. Let's say it's just, let me give an example, 350 or 260. And I press, and let me say, okay, let's just give all these numbers, let's say 25, 25, and 5. If I submit this, then to refresh, and you can see now it is 260, 25, 25, and then 5. If you go into the builder, refresh the page, you see down at the bottom, we get the same thing, 260, 25, 25, and 5. So it updates the post right from the front end using Bricksforge Pro Forms. Yeah, I'm getting my wordings confused now. Yeah, Bricksforge Pro Forms. And so now that's all we're going to be working with. I don't know if you have ever done it before. Have you used Pro Forms to create your form before? Or if this is your first time, let me know in the comments. If you have been using Pro Forms, then let me know in the comments as well. So yeah, let's now go ahead and see how we can create this form. So I'll create a new page and we'll start populating the form from that page. So let me just go ahead and create a page. And let's say I'll call it edit recipe blog post or recipe post. Let's publish this, publish. And we'll edit with bricks. For anyone who doesn't know, let me just say shout out to Jonathan in the comments. He's the one who set up this staging site for me with all of the plugins. So that's what I'm using for the test. So thank you, Jonathan. So now we have the post. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. A lot of us were waiting for Black Friday to get some deals. I know some plugins already have some Black Friday deals. I don't know, which ones have you gotten so far? I think I've been looking at Shaw Members, Shortcut, those two plugins. I might get them, I'm not sure. Then some other ones are already having their deals. Equalize Digital came up with a deal for their plugin for the Pro version. Because I don't know if you've seen any video about Equalize Digital. They were doing a demo yesterday, a showcase, and they said how they showed how the plugin works, and it's quite nice. It works well with your WordPress websites, and it shows you the problems that you can fix, and then it gives you some nice little bubbles, like you can see. Let me see if I can show an example here. Let me switch over, and you see this bubble here on the front end as well. Let me go to the front end. You see the bubble. When you click on it, it will tell you all the errors are detected. When you go to the error, it will actually explain what the error is. So empty button. So it says, and it will tell you where exactly it is on the page. I believe it should be, let me see, where is it? Yeah, okay, it's because it's hidden behind the error, but they are all here. It tells me that, so it gives me that there's an error with the Pro Forms buttons. It says empty button. Error means that one of the buttons here on the web page is empty, or so it gives you exactly what it is. It gives you full documentation of how you can solve that problem and so many other information, which is why I love this plugin. So you can easily quickly get all of the errors you're having issues with, and then you can fix them. So, and they have a pro version, but you should know that it is. Let me go ahead and see. Equalize digital. I don't know. I'm doing a promo for them now, just because I was in their meetup yesterday and they were talking about it, so that's why I decided to check it out. And where is the pricing? They were the pricing. So this is where it is now, though, that the price is, if you are a government agency, I would highly recommend that you get one of their plans, because they work with even companies like NASA and some other big companies to help them with their accessibility and all of that. But that's just one of the stuff. But there's no lifetime deal, so this is, you have to be paying $144 a year for single license or and so on. But yeah, which other ones are you guys getting for Black Friday? So let me close some of these things here, and then we'll switch. Let me switch back. And yeah, as I was saying, we have this. Let me close this. Oh, I forgot my mouse always disappears when I use the touch screen, because I have a touch screen where I see the comments, because that's a bigger screen and I can see the comments easily. But the moment I press that touch screen, the mouse disappears. So it takes me a while to find the mouse. Well, yeah. So this is what we're trying to get. Just trying to create a simple form like this that updates our front-end post. So we'll start from somewhere. Let's see. I've created a page. Let's skip this. Oh yeah, shortcut and show members. I think those are the two things that I'm looking at. So yeah, we have our page. I'll go ahead first and I'll drop in a section. So let me just, if this will work. Oh, something is, my keyboard is now acting on its own for some weird reason. Wonderful. Okay. I guess I just have to use this. And I'll say section. And within there, I want a container. Maybe I want the container to have. So we have our container. Within that container, now I want to drop in a simple Pro Forms. First, you need to activate the Pro Forms if you have not activated it already. So let me first go ahead and show you where to activate it. So you have to go to your Bricks. Then you go to Bricksforge. Let me close all of these windows. And then in Bricksforge, you come to your elements and you see Pro Forms. So that's where you activate your Bricksforge Pro Forms. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get it in the builder. So we get here, we have the section, your container, and then I'll just search for the Pro Forms. So Pro Forms, I'll put that in, and it will immediately come up with some elements. Some of these elements we not need them, so let me just delete everything. I will start from scratch. So delete this, delete that, and delete that. So I'll just leave the submit button. And I think I have one class name, BF form. I think that's just because I don't like the way the colors are so light. So that's why I always use a class name that just changes all the colors to dark colors. Oh yeah, yeah. For their timeline, and you'll be able to do animations much faster with the Bricksforge. They are coming up with some nice ideas for version 3.0, which I believe will be coming out sometime in December. So we're excited for that. So yeah, we have our Pro Forms. Then what we'll now do is, let me just come under here and I'll open the ACF field. So I'll just be copying the field names because that's what you need. So I'll just go to the ACF fields, so field groups. And this is where I've created it. So recipe meta. So what I'm just going to be doing is the same kind of type of field that we have here is what I will replicate in the form. So for the first one, we have, generally, we have the post title, then we have the thumbnail, and we have the category. So I'll first put those, then I'll put all of these fields. So start with the post title. The post title is usually a text field. So I will search for text. And it's all of these ones that have this kind of thick lettering. In fact, let me show you where exactly they are. So cancel. And if you go all the way to the bottom, you would see all of the Proform fields. And you see all of them here. So Bricksforge Forms, these are all of the fields you can use in the form. So the first one, I'll say is a text field. And that one, I'll say is the post title. Then we want one for our featured image. So I'll just use a file field. This will be the featured image. Then I'll put another image field so that we can preview the image, because I was told that the file field sometimes, for security reasons, it doesn't really display what field it is on the front end of the form. So you have to use an image field that works in conjunction with the file field. So that one is still the preview of the featured image. Then the next thing we want to do is put in the categories, which is the recipe taxonomy. So that one I'll use a select field. So select, and this will be the recipe category, I believe. I can't remember what I called it, but yeah, just call it category for now. So first thing I'm doing is just bringing in all of the fields so that it is easy to use. So first I'll just bring in all of the fields, then I'll start mapping them to the right elements. And yeah, for Bob, don't worry. I believe, I don't know if he's in the comments. He's working on it already. Jimmy is working on some Bricks videos. Mostly, you'll be working with the Pro Forms and then the email field. I think there's John Aperture. He does some with the animations, so the timeline and all of that. But I think it's been a while since he did a video. But he works with more of the animations. And then some other ones will start popping up soon. I think after the version 3.0 is released, there will be more content creators working with the Pro Forms. But for now, we're just waiting for the 3.0 to be released, and then we know exactly where we go from there. Because initially, at the beginning, the problem was that whenever we want to do a video, 5 minutes or 5 hours later, there's an update, and that update changes the entire UI or something. So a lot of people were like too skeptical to do videos, because you don't want to do a video that 5 minutes after you release the video, it becomes obsolete. So you start to wonder. So people were a bit scared to do any video, because the moment you do a video about maybe using a timeline in X way, people come with a better solution of the UI, and then it changes, and you get confused, like, okay, should I have done done this video, or should I wait? So that's why I think most people are waiting for version 3.0. Once it's released, then there'll be more videos popping up, because we believe by that time most of the things will be stable and there will not be too much changes to the UI after that. So that's what I believe. I don't know what the truth is, but that's just what I believe personally. So yeah, let me continue. Yeah, exactly. So as Jimmy has said, he's working on some tutorials, so don't worry about it. You get some tutorials soon. So yeah, I've put in the field for the categories. Now I'll start putting in all the ACF fields. So these ones are just the general fields that come mostly with every post. We have the title, we have the featured image, we have the category, and usually we have the editor. But in this case, I removed the editor. I just wanted to use all custom fields. So that's why there's no one for the editor. So now I'll just start populating with all of the ACF fields. So the first one is description. So I'll just copy, and that is a text area field. So I'll map it to a text area field as well. The plus icon, go down to the bottom, and you should see a text area. So I'll put that in. It's somewhere there, but it's hidden. The beauty of Bricksforge Pro Forms is that everything is nestable, which comes with its benefits that you can rearrange everything the way you want. So this one I said is going to be the description. Then the next one is the rating field. Oh yeah, that's true. Let me pull up your YouTube channel so that he can go ahead and subscribe if they haven't subscribed already. I believe it's, yeah, let me see if it, okay, it popped up. So this is the channel, and let me just copy that name and put it in the chat. Okay, so yeah, this is it. So that's the channel. You can go ahead and check it out. He's working a lot with Bricksforge and Bricks, and he'll be doing other types of videos as well, I believe. So yeah, as we were going, let me close this now. So we've done the description, which is text area. Then the rating field is a number field. So that's it. So we'll come to the next one. I'll put a number field, and that is for the rating. So that's rating. Then we have recipe author. I'll put it for now, but one thing I found is that currently things that are in an array, things like relationship field and the gallery, they don't really work well with with Bricksforge Pro Forms. So I'll put it for now, but we may not be able to use it. I don't know. Maybe someone in the description will know how to, in the comments will know how to use it. But I'll put in the next one, that is the relationship field. For that one, I'll put a select field, because usually we select our author from a list of already created authors. So I'll put select field. And that one is called author or recipe author. Then what else? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Was your video? Okay, I wasn't paying attention here. Let me see. Let me go ahead and check out your channel. So YouTube again. Jonathan blog or Jonathan. Have you created a new video, or is still the old ones? Okay, yeah. So I think he has one about ACF field types that you can go ahead and check, and some other videos. So that's his channel. This is for Jonathan. Okay, then what else? Yeah, what I just did was, okay, for this relationship field, it is, let me, so the idea is that every recipe should have an author. So the person who created the recipe should be the author of the recipe. But I just thought that rather than using a user field, like a user on the page, these people are not really people who are writing the blog. They just maybe send it to you and you then upload it. So I now created another custom field or another post type called recipe authors, and I linked both the recipe and the recipe authors together using this relationship field. So on the recipe author, you have a field called relationship field, and it's connected to the recipes. So that's the field type recipe author. And if you go to the actual recipe author post type, let me go ahead and pull that up in a new page. See, we have recipe authors and recipes. So I connected the recipes to the recipe authors using two post types. Okay. Thank you, Toby, for joining in. And I don't know if everybody saw his video today. He did a new video today showing you how to do some nice funky things. Let me go ahead and pull his channel up. And I'm sure most people know your channel already because your channel is very popular. Well, Bob, don't worry. Not everybody has to have a channel. Or if you have a channel though, you can always share it with us, and we'll go ahead and we'll watch your videos and we'll cheer you on. So this is Toby's channel, and that's for Toby. Let me write his name, Toby. So people. Yeah, that's it. So those are the different channels you can go ahead. So yeah, I created 2 post types. One is recipes and the other one is recipe authors. So on the recipes, if you go to the field groups, that's where I have these recipe field groups, and then I created this relationship field for the recipe author. And if you now go to the recipe or the, where's it? Okay, I didn't. Oh, it's not okay. So it's not really a bi-directional relationship I did here. I think I just did a single, yeah, because I didn't really care about the authors. I just wanted to show the authors on the page. I don't really need the authors to be able to edit anything from the authors page. So it's not really a bi-directional relationship. It's just a single relationship. But yeah, that's it. The recipe author is a relationship field, so that's a select field, recipe author. Then the next one is the description. So copy that. Oh no, just extra description. I'll just skip that. I don't need it. Then the timing. So for the timing, it's actually a group field. So we need the subfields inside the timing field, which are these 4 fields. So each of them is a number field. So I'll just go ahead and drop in 4 number fields. So let me go to the form, drop in plus, and I'll search for the number field, drop in 4 of them. They should be after the submit button, or before the submit button, I mean. The first one is for the prep time. Prep time. Next one is cooking time. Then additional time. And finally, servings. So rather than boring you all with so many of the other fields, the only field I'll add left is the, I believe is the ingredients field, because the other ones is still like a repetition. So just because both of them are repeaters, so I'll only add one of them, and then the rest are just repetition of what is already there. So I'll add another field for the ingredients. For that one, it's a repeater field, so I have to use a repeater. That is one beautiful thing about the Bricksforge. They've already thought about a lot of things. So you just search for repeater, you see a repeater field. Their fields are always having a thicker icon than the rest of the other fields. So you click on that. That is the repeater field. And this is for the ingredients. So this is me just putting in all of the fields. So we have the fields in there now. The next thing we need to do is actually connect these fields to see on the front end. So I'll be doing 2 things basically. Oh, this is still up, sorry. Yeah, I'll be doing 2 things. The first thing I'll be doing is we'll first try to pull in the data from the already populated form field to show that it works. So we'll be pulling in all of the data from the post. Then the next thing is I will now connect it to the submission, which will now do the updating. So first I have to retrieve the data, then we can now edit that data. So that's what we'll do now. We'll first show how to retrieve the data into the form. And the way we do that is by using the ID of the post. So what we do is, let me just go to one of the posts. So I'll say something like, it's under recipes. So recipes, we have, let me just give an example of maybe this one, because this is blank, so we can use this to edit however we want. And what we now do is come to the top and you see the post ID there. That's what we need. And it says 633. So copy that. Then what we now come to do here is in the post, we'll come to each of these fields and we'll be using what we call the URL parameter. So what we do is that when we now search for the edit page, or let me just go through here and post type, edit, recipe, post, I think. Oh no, sorry, I'm going to. Or basically, when we now get into this, yeah, okay, yeah. So let me just preview this post on the front end. That's what I was supposed to do. So this post on the front end, what we now do is, this is the post title. We now use a query parameter. What did I do? Yeah. This is what happens when you can't see very well. So we'll start with a question mark and we'll say, we use any title for our parameter. So we can say maybe ID equal to 633. So what we'll now do with this is, whenever we'll now be able to retrieve this ID from the post and then retrieve the post information just by this ID that we use in the URL parameter. So let's start. Let me first save this. The first thing we need is, the first one is post title, and we'll come to the general. I'll give it an ID. I like to name them the IDs that correlates to what field that they're going to pre-populate. So for that, let me just open the recipe and just go to the ACF field groups so that we can easily get the IDs from here. So what we are needing here is the recipe meta. So what I'll be doing is, I'll just be copying this ID. So the IDs that I use here for my ACF fields is the same thing I'll use in the form, just to make it easy for me to remember the IDs rather than having to now try to come back here again to check the IDs and so on. So I'll be using all of these IDs here. And the first one we need is the post title, which is a native field. So I'll just say maybe title. Then the label would be recipe title. This is what will show up on the form. So recipe title. Then this is where it comes into play now, is the value. So this value is, what do we want to pull from the already existing post. So what we do now is use the dynamic tags. Then we come down to the bottom to Bricksforge, and we choose the Bricksforge version, because what happens is that Bricksforge allows you to pull a post from a post metadata from a specific ID, whereas with the native Bricks form fields, it doesn't allow you to do that. So that's one of the advantages of using the Bricksforge dynamic data fields. So what I will look for now is this is just the post title. So we'll look for post title under this form. And okay, so where is it? Oh, my eyes are deceiving me right now. Let me just search for it. Save me trouble. Say title. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Post title. So I'll put that in. Post title. It comes with this brf underscore post underscore title. Then right at the end, before the end of the curly brace, we put a colon. And what we now need to do is pull in the URL parameter. So we'll use the dynamic tag again. And this time we'll search for URL parameter and put that in from this. And at the end, we put, just after the parameter itself, we'll put a column again, and then we'll put what we want to be using. Like I said, we'll be using ID. That's the key we'll be using here. So that's why I'll just write ID at the end. So that is ID. So that's the first field. So I can save it, and we'll test it on the front end and see now. So let me see, once it's saved, let me refresh. And you see, the title is retrieved successfully. So that is another recipes. That's what I named it. So the next field now is called the featured image. So I'll just call that one thumbnail or something. Thumbnail. thumbnail. I'll say that is the featured image, and the value is, so like I said, for the file fields, they recommend not using anything here, so we'll just leave it blank, or we can actually put a field if you want, but then I'll use this preview image to preview the actual image. So I'll come to the, well, let me just pull that data. I'll first put the value here. So the same thing we did in the other field. We'll first search for the thumbnail. So that's called post thumbnail URL. Oh yeah, I just saw a good question. Well, to be honest, I don't actually have, I think I only have like one subscription plugin, to be honest. All the other plugins I bought were more lifetime deals, and I just use the native bricks for most of my things because, like I said, this whole website, this staging site was created by Jonathan. I personally, the what I use mostly is just bricks. Then I use Bricksforge. Then I use dynamic shortcodes and core framework. Then the other plugins, I tend to just stay away from most of the plugins. I only use them when I need to use them, like a custom field plugin like ACF or Metabox or Pods or something. I use Jet Engine because I got the lifetime deal as well. So most of the time, I was lucky to buy most of these plugins when they still had LTDs. But in terms of subscription, I think you have to just base it on exactly what you want to get from the plugin. It's not just go ahead and buy everything. You should decide for yourself, is this plugin worth it for me? When you go ahead and check out all the features, what it provides, the kind of like what's it called? The community you get with it, and then you now make that decision if you want it or not. But I would say, to be honest, you start from just bricks alone, or at least, or the page builder of your choice. Start from that alone. Then when you hit a limitation, that's when you buy a plugin to solve that limitation, or you find a way to write code. Because right now there is, ChatGPT has gotten so good that you can just literally use ChatGPT to write a plugin for yourself. I know, I don't know if it's in the chat, Lex and some other people did nowadays, they just use ChatGPT to write their codes for them. But for me, I tend to write my code myself with the help of dynamic shortcodes, because dynamic shortcodes just makes writing PHP nicer. So, but most times I would say, try not to just go all out and be buying subscription everywhere. Don't just be buying plugins for the sake of buying plugins. Buy it when you need it. So I hope that answers the question. But yeah, let's keep going. Let me switch over and we'll see. So for the featured image, like I said, okay, we'll look for the thumbnail. So that's it here. And let me just write it down somewhere so that it's easy for me to just copy and paste. So I'll just use a text field, a regular text field, put it somewhere at the top, and I'll just give that URL parameter ID and column ID. So because this is basically what you just be putting in as the ID of every of our posts. So let's come back to the image, the featured image. We put this Bricksforge post thumb. At the end, we put a column and we put that ID. So let me come back to the text. Just copy that. Come back to the featured image and paste it there. So we have that one in. So I'll do the same thing for the preview. Put that in the dynamic tags, put it there, save it, and then we'll come to the front end and test it. Refresh and see. Let me see. Did I make any mistake? Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks for joining in, Jimmy. Hope to have you here again because you're the one who knows a lot about Pro Forms, so you can answer anybody's questions in the chat. Let me see. I don't know what happened here. Is this? Okay, yeah, that's the one I used. Because the colors were looking so light to me. So basically, what I just did with this class name is on each of the fields, I just gave them a very thick color so that it's easy for me to see. The label color, I just made it a bit thicker and black, because by default the form fields, they are very light, and they're not good for my eyes. So yeah, let's see what was the problem. So we have the URL, or let me just cheat a little bit. I'll use dynamic shortcodes here. So I'll say post featured image ID at, this is not supposed to be part of the, but I don't know why it's not working, and I don't want to stress too many people out. So at ID equal to this is the URL, so that's param dash get column ID. Save and see if it works. Refresh. Oh, okay, it works. I don't know why it was not working before. Well, so we get our featured image, and this will now be able to update that featured image using these choose files from Bricksforge. Then the next thing we need to do is, the next one is the recipe category. Let me see what I called it. So come back here, and I'll go to the recipes, which is here, and it's called, okay, I called it mail type. If you look at the bottom of the screen, I don't know, it's a bit tiny, but you see the taxonomy there is called mail dash type. So that's what I'll use. So come back to recipe category. Let me just name it the correct name. So that's mail type. Then under general, the custom ID, I'll say mail dash type. You don't need to name it exactly, but I found that it makes it life easier for me when I'm now trying to use this in the submission. So I try to put the custom ID to be the same ID as what I'm trying to get. So it's easy to like correlate both of them together. So I'll call this one mail type. And so for this one, because I'm trying to pull data from the taxonomy terms, so we'll come into the options, and then we choose to use query loop. Then for the query, we choose this infinity sign. That's to choose the query. We'll come to the type. I'll choose posts, and then sorry, it's a term, not a post. So terms, and the taxonomy is my mail type. So I'll say look for mail. What just happened? Oh, I don't know what happened just now. Mail types. Save this. Then, so that's just to pull in the data. If you come back to the front end, let's see if it works. Oh no, I've not put, yeah, okay, it should work. So now under mail type, oh no, why didn't it work? Oh yeah. So after putting the query, you now have to actually pull where is the data coming from. So I've chosen that it comes from mail types, and now we need to say, okay, what are we actually pulling in from that mail types query? And the label here is okay, so the label will now be, we now use the dynamic data and say we're looking for, what are we getting from that mail types? We're trying to get the name. So that's term name, and the value, we have to use term name as well. That's how Bricksforge works. Ideally, I would have thought we use the term ID, but we have to use the term name. So as you can see, it's now pulling the data correctly. It's pulling breakfast and brunch. So let's save it. And I'll preview on the front end, refresh. As you can see, these are the meal types. So we have breakfast and brunch, we have dinner, we have lunch, and that's it. So we have pulled in the data from the meal type. So this is because it is a category or a taxonomy term. So we have to use a query to query in the taxonomy term. But that's just querying all the taxonomy. Now we need to choose what exactly is the specific term we're looking for. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I got it a couple of years ago when it was a little bit cheaper. But I think, well, for the for the value you get from it, I think it's not too bad if you, because by the time you do a couple of websites, o- you should be able to recover that cost back from using bricks. Or if you like, you can still stick with full site editing. If you want to go down that route, you can go with full site editing, do some websites, get enough money, and then you can buy bricks. That's another option. But yeah, I know some of the plugins now, the cost of some of the plugins feel very high, I'll be honest. But I think the value you get from the plugins, that is what you now calculate that, okay, I'm going to gain a lot from using those plugins. Yeah, so so like I said, I was just pulling in all of the mail types, but now we need to choose, we need it to populate with what is the mail for the current post. And with that one, I think, how do we do it? We go to the value and I'll choose. Now I'm not even, I'm going to cheat again for now because I'm just going to use, I can't remember how we do it. We can choose, because this is the value is where we now, under the actual select field, not in the option, under the select field, if you go to value, whatever value you put there is what will be populated as the current value. And for that one, I can't remember how to do it to get the first term from an array. Let me see if Bricksforge, I'm not entirely sure. So for now, I'll use dynamic shortcodes to get that value, which is just going to be, but hopefully in the comments, I will, after the video, I will show how to actually do it. But for now, I'll just use dynamic shortcodes and I'll say I'm getting the post terms at the ID equal to the current post, as param get ID, and I'm looking for the first term, so double-0. And what else? The taxonomy is mail type, so taxonomy equal to mail dash type. Sorry for mixing Bricksforge and the Bricksforge and dynamic shortcodes together, but this is, I'm just mixing them together for now. Let me see if it works. Let's see. Let's go ahead and look at one of the recipes. So I'll go to post type, or let me just go to, yeah, I think I called it another recipe. Yeah. Let me just edit it. Oh, hello, Brendan. Thanks for joining in. I am really happy you're here. You are you're the master with most plugins, basically. So yeah. Okay, I set it to be lunch. So why didn't it pre-populate? It's populating as breakfast. So let me see. What did I do wrong? Okay, ID equal to, let me see. Don't know what went wrong there. Let me do it again. Let me just do it somewhere here so I can see if it's actually working. So post terms at taxonomy equal to mail type, ID equal to, let's see, save and refresh and see if it works. Oh no. Okay, did I write something wrong? Okay, let me just use, now this is where demo shortcodes and check for maybe another recipe and check for terms. Oh, hello, Lex. Thanks for joining in. This the gang is complete. So I was looking for the terms. So Let me search for terms. Control F, term. Okay, and see why is it not working. It should populate. I don't know why it's not populating. Let me go ahead and look again. Post terms, yes, at taxonomy equal to. Oh, okay. No, yeah, but it should give me the ID of the post. It's not giving me the ID. ID equal to param get ID. Now I'm doing. I've got. I don't know why I had to get stuck here. Let's go ahead and just. No, bricks. This is not bricks being bricks. This is me not figuring things out before the stream. So I'll go to meal types. Where is it? That'll be under recipes, meal types, and the taxonomy equal to meal type. Yes. Then what else? And for this current post, so post, let me just check for no. Okay, let me just go all the way. So say term dash name at ID equal to $0 and close it. And this is getting quite long, but see, refresh, still null. Oh, oh, it's my fault. I forgot that I don't have any ID actually set up. Oh, this is what happens when you don't look at it well. So at the top, my ID had refreshed, so it was no longer getting the ID of the correct post. So that is 633. So now it should work. Oh no, wrong page. This is the okay. Yeah, so ID equal to 633. Yep, this is it. So yeah, it's now launch. That's it. I was just writing the wrong thing. That's why it wasn't working. So I'll copy all of these, cut it out, and I'll come to my terms, meal types, come here and choose the value to be that, save it, and now if I refresh, it should work. So yeah, the meal type is now launched. So there are 3, but depending on which one I choose, the meal type will be populated. I think the other one is 627 for the other post ID, and see, you get the meal type. For this one is breakfast and brunch. Then 633. Let's continue with this one. For this one, the meal type is lunch. So yeah, that's why it's working. I was just the one who was. This is what happens sometimes. You just forget what was happening, and I forgot to just look at the URL to see the URL is where all of the data is being populated from. So that is the ID equal to 633. Without that ID, none of these fields will be populated properly. Okay, so we are done with the meal type. Then the next one is the description. So for that one, let's come back to the wherever that is. Let's close all of these. Usually, because I'm on the stream, so I'll just use the mouse, but most times I'll just use my keyboard. Yeah. So for this one, I'll just copy the name, description, the SRC, put that as the ID here. Then the label will be description. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess I got flustered because a lot of people are watching. So yeah, that's description. Then we need to pull in the data because this is just the name. We need to pull in the data into the description. It's a text area field. So we'll do the same thing. We come to this dynamic data, and now all of the fields from this point on, so from the description downward, all of them are ACF fields. So we'll have to use ACF meta. So ACF is also a Bricksforge specific field. So ACF at the bottom, you see it ACF field. So that's what we're going to be using. So ACF field, and we put a column, and we put the ID, which is, like I said, we'll just be copying from this one, which is this URL parameter dash ID copy. That's for the description. Put that in there. Save it up, and we'll test again on the front end. This time I won't forget that the ID is changing. So come back here, say ID equal to 633, and we get that. So the title, we get the image, we get mail type, and the description is not pulling in. Why? ACF, BRF, ACF field. Oh, actually, sorry. Again, let me do it again the second time so that you people get it. So I'll choose the dynamic tags. I'll see ACF field. I did not, you have to read it here. So ACF field, I have to choose the field name first before I put the post ID. I only put the ID without the field name. So that's BRF ACF field column. Then what is the ID? It is description, or the post, the name of the field is description, DESCR. I believe that's what I called it here. DESCR, yes. Then I'll put a column again. A column, and then we put the ID of the post, which is the URL parameter stuff. Now let's test it, refresh, and we get it. This is the text I put there. We can continue. If you want to see the text, let's just go to post type, and we check for another recipe. Open that, edit in the front end, and as you can see, that is it. That's the description. These are just random descriptions. And then the next thing is the rating, and that's a number field. So I'll come to the next one, which is this number field rating, and I'll say rating. I think there is currently a bug with the number field that it doesn't allow you to put decimal numbers. So what I did was I used a text field instead of a number field, because this numeric, even though you choose it to be decimal, it still wouldn't like allow you to put decimal numbers. It will give you error on the front end. So for that one, I don't know. I will have to switch it to a text field later, but let's just leave it as a number field for now and sort it out. So for this one, it's called rating, and then we'll put the value, which is all of that long field again. So ACF field. I think I might skip some of the other fields first so that we don't waste too much time, and then just go to the repeater, and then we'll see if all of them populate properly. So that is Bricksforge ACF field column, and we'll give it the name of the ACF field, which in this case is called rating. So copy that, rating, and I'll put it there, rating, then column, and we'll put the ID, which is a URL parameter, the ID, save it. Then I'll come back and refresh, and you see the rating is 2.5. And the trouble is the moment I think, okay, did it work? Okay, yeah, it worked. I don't know what happened. When I was trying to change this number, it wasn't working. If I tried to put any point, it was giving me error the other day. So after the rating, I'll skip this. So let's just go to a group field. Let's say something like the prep time. I'll just do one of each field and skip the other ones. So that's the prep time. I'll give the name, which is from the ACF field, is called. This is where you have to take note. When it is in a group field, you have to give it two names. So you have to say the name of the group field itself, which is timing, underscore the name of the field you're trying to get, which in this case is called prep underscore time. So you have to do all of them together. So I'll just call this one prep time for now, prep underscore time, and prep time. Then That's for the value. That's what I'm talking about. So ACF field, then put the column. The field name will now be timing underscore prep underscore time. Then column, and then we'll put the ID, which is the URL parameter. Save it. And let's check it out. Refresh. And you see the prep time is 2. If you come to the actual post, the prep time was 2. So that's it for the prep time. The next thing, let's just try out with the repeater fields. That's the last one I'll just test out. And that one is repeater. That's repeater field before the actual submit button. So for this one, I'll do the same thing. I'll give it the same ID. So come under the ingredients. No, under the field itself. And it is the ingredients. So first I'll get the repeater field ID, copy that, come back to my post, put that as a custom ID here, and we'll also do that inside the data. So let me put this here as well, ingredients. Then under data, you come to the data source, you choose the right data source, which is ACF in this case, and the post ID is the URL parameter. So search for URL parameter column ID, which is the key that we set up. And finally, the field name is called ingredients. So we save this. This is on the actual repeater outer field. Now that we've set that up, we now go into the what you call the nested fields. Then for these ones, what you just need to do here is, you see where you wrote custom ID, you just need to put the field name there. So all of the subfields, so that in this case, the only subfield we have is ingredients. So I'll copy this ID here, come in here, and then just make that the custom ID. That's all you need to do. Save that and make this called ingredient. Save that, and let's see it now on the front end. Refresh. You see, that is the name of the field that I put. If you come to the front end and see, where's the field? Yeah, that's the only field that is there. That's the only field I put there. So, and that's what is being populated here as the ingredients. So that's how we can do all of these fields, and we can populate the rest. Oh, Bob. Well, what would you like to start your channel about? Would you want to go into, is it going to be web design, or you want to do like graphic design, or something different? Different people have different like passions that you want to do on YouTube. Like I didn't start out to be a YouTuber. What happened was, I think, was it 2 years ago or a year ago? I can't remember now. Somebody reached out to me and said, David, can you help me solve this problem? Then I wrote it in the comments of that Facebook post. The person didn't get it. I went ahead to write my blog post. The person was like, they like to see it visually. That, can I get it visually? And that's what I did for my first video. I went ahead and I did a YouTube video. It was very poor quality, but well, it came out. And from there, some other questions kept popping up, and then I got the courage to keep posting out content. And that's how I've been posting content for a while. Although for a while I stopped doing YouTube because I was busy with a lot of other things. Then recently I joined a group where the person was just like, at least there's nothing to lose. Just keep posting the content as much as you learn, then pass that information on to others. So that's why I just started restarted the channel. If you look at the channel history, you see that I think for 4 or 6 months I stopped doing videos. But then after somebody down the group I joined, they were like, just keep sharing your knowledge. Once you think about something that interests you and you have the time, then just do it. And that's what I've just been doing. And I've been posting videos every week. And then the same thing happened. The person like reached out and said, why not do a live stream as well? There's nothing to lose. Do a live stream, because some people want to see the the live stream. Yeah, definitely. Like Lex says, you just gotta press record. I think I don't know if I can pull it up, a YouTube meme that the person says, you just have to press record. I think it's called Think Media. They they are like, they talk about being a YouTuber and all of that. So once you just, that's the hardest part, pressing the record button. The moment you press that record button and you record your first video, you get that motivation to just keep going ahead and just keep doing something. And that's why I've been posting and sharing my knowledge, especially about accessibility and dynamic data, because those are the things that gets me a lot. Like talking about accessibility, yeah, let me just talk about it. The one thing that, I've gotten to me a lot is all through my, like, secondary school, I went through this phase where people just go ahead and say, why can't you see the board? Why can't you drive a car? Why, like, they just expect you to, like, that you are like every other person. Like, they just believe you're like every other person. And it's sometimes everybody is different. Like, my disability, I know my disability, I know my limitations. I may not be able to, like, pass it on, like explain the disability to other people. So that's now makes it, um like, I don't know how to put it, like, but that gets to me sometimes when people now, like, belittle your disability, or like don't really take it for granted, or feel like they know your disability more than you, who have that disability. And then it starts to, like, make you feel go on a, but yeah, that's beside the point. But yeah, about YouTube, you just have to just keep presenting. You don't have to be scared. Yeah. Mm. Well, to be honest, all of us, we all know little. None of us has any, like, unlimited knowledge. All of us just have a little, like, is it Socrates who says that the more you know, the less, or the more you think you know, the less you know, or something like that. There's a way he put it, he coined the phrase, and that because the more you learn, the more you realize that there is a vast ocean of knowledge that you have not even gone to, you have not even, like, you've not even reached the surface of that knowledge, that there are so many things to learn. So all we're just doing is making our own little bit in the world. We say, what you learn, just pass it on to other people. It might be something that may not even, like, nobody may even watch a video for the first 1 year, but then, like, a year down the line, like one of the videos I published, nobody cared about that video until, like, I think about 6 months down the line, somebody now asked that question, and he found the answer to the question from my video. And from there, I just saw the chart just went from dead to just went up. I was shocked. Like, so sometimes some of your videos, you might think nothing is, like, nobody's watching my video, or nobody cares about what I want to say, but some people are just lurking in the background, listening to everything you say, and they they may not, like, tell you thank you or anything, but just know that you're just passing your knowledge out to the world, and hopefully you're helping somebody out somewhere. They may never come back to you to tell you thank you, which they should do, because it makes you feel good when you hear people coming back to you to tell you thank you. But that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. No, maybe one day we'll try to get you on one of our streams. Maybe Lex can hook you up to one stream, and then you'd you'd you start to pass the knowledge you have to the rest of us. Well, yeah, now let's head back to the video and see how to complete everything before we go. So we had everything set up now. We've gotten all of these fields all populated. The last thing is, how do we now use this form to update the posts that we have? That's the last thing we need to think about. And it's quite easy. So, which is the reason why I started from here, putting these IDs to be similar to what I'm trying to achieve. So here we have the form. What you now need to do is, you come to the beginning, which is the Pro Forms. You click on that. Then you head over to your actions. So that's where everything works. It's under actions. Yeah, we take over. So yeah, we come to actions. And this is where we now do it. If you want to have an email feedback, you can set up the email. In this example, I don't really need an email, so I'll take it off. The important things we need here are, we need the update post meta and the update post. So I'll just search for them. So update. So we have to update the post. Then we also need to update the post meta because we are using an ACF field. So update the post meta. So those are the two things we need in this case. And I'll just add another one to redirect, so that once it's submitted, it should now redirect, but I'll just make it redirect to the same page. So now let's start setting it up. The first one you do is the update post. So come to update post, and for security reasons, I would say only if you are logged in. And what else? So now for the post ID, so for all of these fields now, we start using the form field IDs for everything here. So post ID, we click on this FX icon, so click on that, and see, this is why I named them the same way. So for the post ID, oh, that is one thing I've forgotten. I need to put another field, which is a hidden field, to actually store that post ID, because the only thing we can use here are the form fields. If we don't put the post ID from the form field, it will not populate properly. So before the post title, I'll simply add a field called a hidden field. Let's drop that all the way to the top. And this is called the post ID. So now for that one, under general, I'll call that post underscore ID. And the value is just a URL parameter. So URL parameter, this one, with a colon and ID. Oh, welcome back, Jimmy. Maybe you can finally convince Bob to start a channel. Because if you go through the chat, you see, yeah, we can convince Bob to join us as YouTubers. So yeah, this is the value for the post ID. So now let's start populating all of the fields. Then we come back to the Pro Forms, and we come to the update post. So the first thing is the post ID. So I'll click on the FX, and this is the post ID. Next thing is the post title. So this is the title. Oh, sorry. Post ID, I need to click on the FX again, otherwise it will populate the wrong field. So this will be the title. For the post content, we don't have any post content, so I'll just skip that. Post status, it has given you some examples at the bottom, so I'll say you should just go directly to publish. Then the excerpt, or you can create another form field that decides which one it goes to, either publish or anything, or you can even use some, if you have Bricksforge, if you have dynamic shortcodes, you can actually apply some dynamic conditions here. You can use some if statements directly in here. So say if maybe one form field is equal to a certain value, then give it publish, otherwise give it some other value, something like that. So that's one cool thing you can do. The except I'll mix, so all of these other ones, I don't care about them for now. The only thing left is this thumbnail. So I'll come to the thumbnail, and the same thing, click on the FX, and we're looking for the post thumbnail, which is this one. Okay. The last thing is the taxonomies. So I'll click on add item. You have to make sure you choose the right taxonomy slug. In this case, I think it was called mail type. So if you go to the bottom, you see in the search bar, you see mail type, or I can go to my ACF. So just go to ACF and taxonomies. Oh, why is it not working? ACF. Oh, I don't know what I've done. Yeah, ACF taxonomies. My typing is wonderful. And you see the key here, that's the taxonomy key. That's what we need here. Mail type, copy, and that's what they put as the slug. So paste that. Then for the term, we have to put the form field. So click on the FX, and I called it mail type. So just put that, and we're done with the posts. This will update all of our post fields. Next, we need to start updating our ACF fields. So for that one is the update post meta. So click on this. Then the source, I'll choose a source. You don't need to choose a source according to them, only if it doesn't work. But let me just choose a source to be ACF. Because we're using the repeater field, I just want to be sure. So ACF. Then we start putting all of the fields that we have created. I'll say add item. The first one was description. So we have to put the ID here. So for the ID, we already have our form field for ID. So I'll put the FX and put this post ID. Then what else? Allow only the author, no. Allow logged in, yes. Is this a repeater field? No. So what is the post meta name? The post meta name here is the name from ACF. So if you come to the, no, where's the ACF field? Yeah, the ACF field, the post meta name we're looking for is this name, the name here. So you just have to copy this name, copy. But like I said, the good thing is I've already named them the same name as this. So it's the same name here. So DSCR is the same name. So copy that, paste the post meta value. So the name is from ACF, the value is from your form field. So value, choose the form field, and I'll choose description. Then the type, you can just leave it as default. I think the default is to replace value. So you can set it specifically, replace value. Then you choose what do you want to do if the field is empty. So do you want to ignore if the field is empty? In this case, I'll say no. I just want, if I put it blank, then it should clear out the field from the ACF field. So I'll just leave it as no, but depending on how you want to set up your own form. Then I'll go to the next one. Or let me just, because it's going to be similar things, let me just duplicate them. So I'll just duplicate it. For this one, it's the same ID. And this time, the name is, the group is rating. So copy rating, and I'll paste it here to be the field name is rating, and the value is my form field, which has the same name as rating. So that's it for that one. The next one, I'll duplicate it. And the next one is called some rating prep time. So for this one, like I said, you have to, because this is a group field, you see in the prep time, under timing, the prep time is a group field. So you have to say the group name, which is timing underscore, then the actual subfield name. So in here, I will now call it timing underscore prep underscore time. Okay. Then the value is the prep time. Copy that. Okay. So we've done with that. Then the next one, let's see which one I populated again, is the ingredients. So now that's where we come to a repeater field. So for that one, I'll say add item. And oh no, let me just duplicate, like I said, since I don't want to be rewriting that post ID again. So now this is for the ingredients. So we have our post ID, which is just the ID from the form. Then the next thing we need to do is set it to be is repeater field. Yes. So toggle it on. Then the repeater action will say we want to update rows Pro Forms repeater because we're using the Pro Forms repeater. So choose this. Then the post meta name for this one is this what is it? Okay, yeah, so we need to now replace everything here. So post meta name is the name of the repeater field, which is ingredients with an S, which you can get from here. Is the repeater name is ingredients. Copy that, and I'll paste it here. and the ID from the form is basically I put the ID as the same thing, so it's going to be ingredients as well. So just make it easy for me. So yeah. So we have all of our fields all populated. Now we can go ahead and test it on the front end. The only thing left is, let me just do a redirect. So I'll say redirect, and the redirect is just to the current page. So let me just copy the page name. Where is it? So redirect to the same page. Oh, I'll do some, let me do some nice, using Bricksforge Pro Forms again. I'll do something nice. So I'll say, no, what did I just do? Wrong. Let me copy this. I'll see build dash URL colon. Paste this in, and I hope it works. I put at ID equal to, and the ID should be the field name. So that will be called close the curly brace. How many did I put there? Okay. Then I'll put, I think the name ID was called post underscore ID. Hopefully everything is working out well. Save this. Now we test it out. Let's see. This is the page. Okay. Refresh. So if everything works out well, the moment you press submit, it should update the fields that we need to update. So let me try with the post name first. So say maybe something like not another recipe blog. Let's see, submit. Oh, invalid post ID. What did I do there? Okay, let's come back and see what the mistake I made. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to say live. I remember now. I have to correct all of these. It's supposed to be live post ID. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Let me just confirm from one of the other posts I created. That was where I was getting it wrong. It wasn't coming up. The post wasn't coming up the way I expected until I realized that it said it's supposed to be, if you see their documentation, if you want to get the post ID to be used in the post meta field, you use live post ID. Let me see the other post. Edit, recipes. Edit in post. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. So under this proof, let me see if that's what I did. So post meta. See, that's what it's supposed to be called here. Live post ID. So that what that does is that after the actual post has been updated, it will now take the ID of that post and then put it into this post meta form field. So this is what you need to remember. Live post ID. I'll try to get the exact documentation and put it in the description so that you can easily go ahead and find where it is. So let me go back to the actual post. So this is the form we're working with. So Pro Forms. Come to the, is just only for the update post meta. That's the only one you do this for. So for each of the posts, you use the live post ID. Same thing for the other one, live post ID, live post ID, and live post ID. I think that should do the trick now. So let me save it. And now we'll test it again. Hopefully it works this time. Refresh. Okay. So I said I want to change the name to not another recipe blog. Update. Hopefully it works. Oh, why is it not working now? Something is off. Post. Just to be safe, let me see if it's the redirect. Let me cut this. That shouldn't be the problem. Save. Because the post ID is it not working? Yeah, everything should work. Save. Refresh. Submit. Invalid post ID. Oh, okay. Thanks for joining in, Bob. So this is just the last bit I'm trying to get running. I don't know why it's not what I did wrong. It should be working. So I'll just go through all of the posts and see where I may have gone off. So let's see, under Pro Forms, under update post, see. Now it says, okay, this is the post ID, yes. Or okay, enter the field of the post ID, yeah. So that's it. Post ID, the title, publish, then update post meta, live post ID, yes. Description. Everything looks okay. So I'm not sure why. What did I do? If anybody knows, if anybody knows what I may have done wrong, I don't know. Let me go to the actions again. I'm just going to look at the one I did before because everything should have worked based on everything I've done. So let me look at the one I did before. Edit recipe, edit with bricks. And okay, so let's go to the form and see update post. Ah, I see. Okay, I guess that's the problem. Probably. I don't know. But I'll just do it the same way it is there and see if that's the problem. So let's remove this, all of this from the post and remove this from the post. And I think the same thing for the thumbnail. Yeah, so it's post thumbnail. So just move all of these from that one, save it and see if that was the problem. I'm hoping that's the problem. Refresh. Now let's submit. Yeah, so that's it. So for the post meta, for the post, that was the problem I was having. So under the update post, you should not use the curly braces for that. Just use the regular field IDs without the curly braces. It's only in the post update post meta that's where you can now use that curly braces. For this update post, just leave it with the ID without the curly braces. I think apart from the mail type, I think for that one, okay, yeah, no, I think that's it. So all of them, you don't need that. You can just put the value without the curly braces, and they should work. So that's it. Then for the update post meta, that's one thing I forgot. This ID, you need to put it in an array. So after ingredients, put a colon and put array. Save that. I think everything now should work on the front end. Let's see. Refresh. Now let's start. So this one will be called not another recipe blog. Then let me choose a featured image and say it's this other one. Okay, then meal type, I'll say dinner. Say I don't like food. Except okay, I'll give this one maybe a 3-star rating. And the prep time, I'll say maybe is 20 minutes. And the ingredients, I'll say try again later. Let's see if that works. Put a new one and say, don't bother me. Okay, now let's see, submit. Yeah, that's what the point I was saying, that the Bricksforge Pro Forms, when you use a number field, I don't know, it keeps getting some issues whenever you use numbers. That's why I don't like using the number field for these decimal numbers. So let me say 3.0 if that will work. You see, keep giving me some errors. I don't know. So I have to use something else. So let me use a different field for, it doesn't work with the number field with decimals for now. I'm not sure if I was the one doing something wrong. I've been trying out different things, but it didn't work. So I'll use a I will use another field like a text field. What I now did was I now used a pattern. So on the text field, I did a pattern that makes it to act like a number. But for now, I'm just going to replace this as, let me delete the other one, rating. Then replace this as the rating. And this will be called rating. Okay. And I'll copy this whole field. And that will be the value here, rating. So this is now the actual rating field. I'll delete the other one. So I'm using a text field now instead of a number field. I think someone in the Bricksforge community posted that you can use the events and then add, because that is a value missing from the number field. It's supposed to have a value called step or something. That's the only way it will work as a decimal number field, but it was omitted. So I think maybe in the version 3.0 they'll fix that bug. So let's start from the first one. So I'll say not another blog. Let's update that and see if that works. Okay, refresh. Oh, I deleted the refresh. So it's not going to refresh. I have to refresh it manually. That works. Let me just go ahead and add the refresh back. So come back to the Pro Forms, come to redirect. Oh yeah, so that's what I was saying from the beginning, that the 633 is the ID of the post that I'm editing. So what happens is that this is the URL parameter. So I'm retrieving this as my post ID to edit. If you come to actually the post, so let me go to the post type and say not another blog. Open that in, edit that on a new page. You see that the ID at the top there is called post equal to 633. So that's what I'm using. That's if not, that's the only way to pull in the ID into the post. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're having a meeting. Yeah, that's true. So we have all of these now. The only thing left is the redirection. And I don't know if you all have seen my previous video where I showed how to do dynamic redirect using Bricksforge, using dynamic shortcodes in Bricksforge. So for that one, we can just use any of the dynamic shortcodes code here and it will work. So I'll say build dash URL colon, and I can say something like maybe post permalink, or let me just write the actual. You can use dynamic tags here, all of the dynamic tags, but let me just write the URL myself, and the URL is called this one. Yeah, so copy this URL, Ctrl C, and paste it there. Then after that, I want to add that query parameter, so I'll put at, then ID equal to, I'll now use the ID from the actual form, which was called, let me put if I can put it well, so that will be post underscore ID, I believe. Let's see if it works. Save this. Now, if I come back to the wherever it is. Yeah, here, refresh. I believe it should work now. So let's say the prep time, we don't want it to be 2 minutes, we want it to be 20. If I submit, it should now refresh the page. Oh no, it usually should work. Maybe I wrote something wrong in the code, because in the other form I did, that's exactly what I did. If you come to the form and go to the redirect, oh, it's not, have I cleared it? Edit recipe, actions. Oh, okay, I can just do page reload. Yeah, that's another thing I can do. So rather than redirect, I just do page reload. Sorry, I forgot that that one existed. So page reload, then save. So once everything is submitted successfully, then it will reload the page. So yeah, go back, and at least the number applied properly. Prep time is now 20 minutes. Before it was 2 minutes, now it's 20 minutes. And if you go to the back end and go to the post itself, which is under recipes, and it was, I believe, this not another blog. You see, where's the time? It's now prep time 20 minutes. So everything is updated properly. Even the repeater field would update properly now. Oh, okay. Thanks for joining in. I really appreciate. And I'll catch you in the next one. We'll be going away soon, as long as we can see that this is working, and that will be the end. So the last is this repeater field. So I'll say repeater one, then add a new item, say repeater 2, and let's see if it works. So submit, refresh, and we get it. Repeater 1, repeater 2. If you come to the back end, refresh, we get our repeater 1, repeater 2. So that's exactly how we do it with the Pro Forms. So yeah, that's all about the Pro Forms and how to edit from the front end. You can use the form in the front end. I still have some things to work out. Once I've put it properly into a nice form, then I'll do a more dedicated video that will show you in simple terms how to update your form or your post from the front end. And I'll also try to do the other one about the quiz. I didn't do it today, but I'll show you how to do a quiz or like a personality test using just Pro Forms. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining in. If you have any questions, please do let me know, and we'll be having the end of the stream. Yeah. So thank you all, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.